Shiv Sena MLA Aditya Thackeray has in fact spoken out on the issue of the Andheri bridge closure in Mumbai that had been, which has led to massive traffic snarls in the area and massive chaos for commuters travelling from the suburb into town. Aditya Thackeray in fact criticized the manner in which the bridge was shut and said that since there were conflicting reports on the bridge's condition, there should have been a third-party audit. He called the bridge closure a political stunt and said that the high-powered committee report which is looking into this matter should be made public.
Sir, you have been a guardian minister for Mumbai. You have seen how Mumbai is and the infrastructure, and you have raised the important question that the Mumbaikars are constantly facing the problem of east-west connector, that is of Gokhale Bridge.
Yes.
What can be the possible solution, sir?
There is a certain suspicion that this may be contractor driven across the city, because suddenly many bridges have come to light where these reports are saying it is dilapidated while it was perfectly moving well. I'm not going into the technical aspect, but the biggest issue here is there are two institutes of national repute, VJTI and IIT, who have submitted conflicting reports. If you see the reports, both of them agree on a certain point that two-wheelers, three-wheelers be allowed on it with varying degrees of repairs to the bridge and restrictions. The conflict is over how much repair and what condition of the bridge is required right now. The only demand from me and the only request from me as a citizen, as a Mumbaikar is, if really both the reports have said that two-wheelers, three-wheelers be allowed, why has it been stopped? Third, make the report public. Make both the reports public, let the people decide, because this is in public interest. But most importantly, to bring a consensus in both the institutes of national repute, I think a high-powered committee consisting of both the engineers or both the people who have consulted on these teams and a third party be included and have a public consultation, have an open, transparent account and audit of the bridge within the next week, and do whatever is required.
Sir, all the stakeholders involved are shifting the blame to each other. Like, after this report also, BMC maintains the stand that they will not open it because there is a risk for the people. How do you look at that?
No, I understand the BMC's concern. Look, I mean, every public body will go to the extreme most caution and concern and take a closure report. But how do we move forward? When there are two conflicting reports, the common sense says that you need to have a third-party audit, have an audit, have a high-powered committee with both these institutes together working on the same thing, have another consultant on board, make it time-bound, and issue a public notice on it.
Sir, as far as the citizens are concerned, they are facing every hour, every minute problem over there. In fact, they have written a letter. Online petition is going on to the Chief Minister to give entire bridge construction to the army. Do you think that is viable?
I don't think that is viable. Army has its job marked out and cut out for the borders and for our security purposes. Our civil agencies are well willing to do it. Most importantly, the way it was closed down seemed to be like a political stunt. One MLA going and putting out a letter, then suddenly closing it. I think more than a political stunt, we need to be more mature about this. It is a matter of public safety and public interest. We need to have a high-powered committee looking into it in a time-bound manner and figuring out whether this should be opened or brought down immediately.
Sir, lastly, this is a problem being faced by the Mumbaikars. You have also been a guardian minister looking out all the infrastructure problems and all that. Immediate solution that you have also pointed out. But, is the politics being played around this? Because, again, the central railways involved in that part, because approach roads are ready. But the only part...
If you remember, for the Delhi Road Bridge, which is in my constituency, it was supposed to be ready last year. I had to go to the railways minister in Delhi to request him to ask the railways to speed up. Otherwise, the railways was absolutely lethargic about the work. They apparently had put the wrong nuts and bolts into the pieces and created a wrong girder. So, controversies apart, politics apart, I think the railways should be a little more hands-on with its work in Mumbai, because there's a tremendous amount of railway land that is included across Mumbai.
And my colleague Abhishek is the one who spoke to Aditya Thackeray a short while back. Abhishek, we've seen and we have covered on ground the kind of traffic snarls, the kind of traffic mess that was triggered by this bridge's repair work, by shutting down this bridge. While Aditya Thackeray is in fact saying that the civic body may have its own concerns about the condition of this particular bridge, but he's also essentially saying that this smacks as a political stunt, the way this entire matter was handled, and also essentially pointing out that there is opaqueness, there's opacity, nobody is clearly giving out information about this bridge, the amount of repair that it required, whether it needed to be shut down completely suddenly like this. So clearly, once again, Aditya Thackeray alleging mismanagement by the Maharashtra government on this issue.
Yes, definitely. And Tanima, as we speak, it's been more than a month. 7th November was the date when abrupt notification comes up, and it was notified and it was made clear. Definitely, with the help of media, at least the people came to know that this bridge, an important connector, will be shutting down from the next day, and you will not be getting to utilize this anymore. What was the reason? Because it was in a dilapidated condition and it can collapse at any moment, and that's the reason pointed out. And let me tell you, this was the same reason, when earlier, after 4 years before also, same reason was given. For the 4 years, BMC and every stakeholder, let it be BMC, railways, they have slept on it. And in fact, definitely they always, give the reason of corona period. But what after that? It's almost a year and they were sitting, and that's where Aditya Thackeray has pointed out. In fact, the local MLA who raised this issue and, took it up to the BMC, and after that report of the third consultant, they took an immediate step to close it because they wanted no risk of life. But at the same time, now, we are facing the heat. I mean, Mumbaikars are struggling every day, every hour to travel from that part. Though there are alternatives, but looking at the busy traffic in Mumbai, those alternatives are also not proving so better. But at the same time, he also pointed out, there was a ray of hope after the two agencies, VJTI and IIT, pointed out that light motor vehicles, at least two-wheelers and three-wheelers, can allowed to be, applied on the bridge with minimal repair work. But that also BMC is not agreeing, and that's where Aditya Thackeray is pointing out that at least, make a high power committee, get engineers from both the institute and sit them on the table and get it worked out whether this can be allowed. At least this will give certain respite to the Mumbaikars. As per the BMC plan, they are planning to issue tenders. After that, the Indian Railways will remove that particular part of the bridge, and they are estimating it to open it by May 2023. Till then, the Mumbaikars will definitely have to face the heat that they are facing every day. But these are the points which has been taken up by the, he's an ex-minister, guidance minister for Mumbai.
Abhishek, we will of course have to come back to you. Right. The former minister there, Aditya Thackeray, essentially pointing out this issue. Abhishek, thank you so much for joining us with that. But we will have to cut across now to